Welcome to Did You Know number 13. Lana's got a couple of things she's going to share, then I've got a couple, and then we'll get to our question.
All right. Did you know Numbers chapter 11? Numbers chapter 11, verse 5.
Numbers 11:5. We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic.
I just found this interesting because I've heard some atheists, it's been years ago, that say, oh, evolution, all this stuff, I think it was corn they thought that grew by itself or something like that. But anyway.
Corn just growing by itself?
Yeah, like evolution just, like all this stuff just poof, appeared.
They sound a little corn-fused to me.
Ah, that sounds a little corny.
Yes, it is.
But anyway, that just goes to prove cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. All this stuff God provided. I mean, this is not something that you can't find just cucumbers growing in the woods. I mean, somebody who would have had to go out there and plant it. The same with melons. Now, of course, there's wild onions, but that's more like the stuff that you don't want to eat. It's kind of like mushrooms. There's safe mushrooms, there's bad mushrooms. But
I don't like onions in general.
Yeah. But then
they stink.
Yeah, they do. But cucumbers and melons and stuff, that stuff ain't growing in the woods. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting because here's proof that cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic, so many thousands of years ago, were God provided.
I know it's garlic spelled Garlick. It's got
Yeah.
a K at the end. You think it has maybe an extra kick to it, like it smells really bad, that's why you got an extra K in there instead of just a C?
I think that's the redneck version. Garlic.
Garlic?
Yeah, because we say lick. Garlic.
Lick. Garlic.
Like you're licking it.
I'll pass on that.
Let's see here. Let me see. I don't like that one. Let me go to the next one.
Yeah, terrible.
That one was bad. That one wasn't any good. Okay,
Yeah.
Numbers 11, verse 31.
Numbers 11:31. And there went forth a wind from the Lord, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, as it were a day's journey on this side, and as it were a day's journey on the other side, round about the camp, and as it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth.
I wrote on here, the quails fell by the camp, a day's journey. Because if you remember, the camp was to be holy. Anytime there was a commandment, anything that died had to be put outside of the camp. And the camp was considered pretty much holy, that the death of these quails could not come within or in the camp. So I don't think people realize the quail didn't fall in the camp. They had to go outside of the camp to get the quail.
Yeah, there's a lot of quail though.
Yeah.
So much for people they think we're going to have a food shortage. God can take care of that problem.
Oh, but this one, let's do this one because it goes along with it.
Oh, a bonus one. You get a bonus one, ladies and gentlemen. Free of charge. Bonus.
Numbers 11:33.
And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague.
Okay, I wrote on here, and this might be disgusting, and it may be true though. I wrote on here, did the people not clean the birds first? It said, it says, did they just pick up the dead birds and start chewing on them? Did they not get the feathers off? It just made it, the verse makes it sound like, because they wanted meat so bad. Did they just go outside of the camp and just see all this dead birds that they just started picking it up and just started chewing on it? Because the way the verse reads, it says, and while the flesh, not the meat, the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of God was kindled.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Okay, the two I have, once again I am ahead of Lana. So if you go over to Joshua 10. Joshua 10. There's this battle that Israel is fighting here. And in verse 12, it says, Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. And there was no day like that before it or after it, that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man, for the Lord fought for Israel. Probably a lot of people have heard the story about the day when Israel fought and Joshua asked the Lord to make the sun stand still, and that's what he did. Did you know that also the moon stood still? Not just the sun, but also the moon, because verse 12 says, And thou moon in the valley of Ajalon, and then verse 13, and the sun stood still, and the moon stayed. So not only did they have sunlight, they also had moonlight. And a lot of times you see one or the other. And you'll see the moon during the day sometimes, but it's kind of hard to see because the sun just outshines it. Usually you see the moon at night and the sun during the day. This one you have both the sun and the moon, and both of them stood still. The next one, Joshua 24:2. Joshua 24, verse 2. And Joshua said unto all the people, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah the father of Abraham, and the father of Nachor, and they served other gods. Did you know that Abraham's father, Terah, served other gods? And if you link that back to Genesis chapter 11, it appears from Genesis 11, because we know the story from Genesis 12, that God called Abram, and God started a great nation with Abraham. But it appears from Genesis 11 that God called his father, Terah, called Abraham's father Terah, probably gave Terah the same commission that he gave to Abraham. But because Terah served other gods, he did not believe in God. He forsook God. And the way I get that is in Genesis 11:31. It says, And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarah his daughter-in-law his son Abraham's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. Well, the land that he's going to show him turns out to be Canaan. And you notice from Genesis 11:31 that Terah left Ur of the Chaldees, went into Canaan. So you got to ask yourself, why did he go to Canaan? Well, it sounds like it's because God gave him the same commission that he gave to Abraham. The problem was that Terah, he was left Ur to go to the land of Canaan, but instead he came unto Haran and dwelt there, and he died in Haran, according to verse 32. So it appears that God called Terah to go into Canaan, that he stopped short, never made it. And so because he didn't believe God that he would give him the land. And so then God called Abram, and Abraham believed God, and God started the nation with Abraham. And I base the fact that he didn't believe God on the fact that Joshua 24 verse 2 says that Terah, the father of Abraham, served other gods. Now you may say, well, it doesn't say that God called Terah. Yeah, I know. It's an educated guess. So anyway, that's an interesting thing. Okay, our question. Last time our question is, where is beer found in the Bible? And we said it's in the book of Numbers. So you go to Numbers 21. Numbers 21, verse 16. And from thence they went to Beer, that is the well whereof the Lord spake unto Moses, gather the people together, and I will give them water. Hey, you thought it was a glass of beer like a Budweiser or a Coors, huh?
Well, it's a well of beer.
It's a well of beer, yeah. And the well of beer is really water. So if you want to drink beer, just drink some water when you're drinking beer.
Yeah, there you go.
Numbers 21:16. Now the question for today, this is from the book of Joshua. There is a city, nation of people who tricked Israel into thinking they were from a far country, that they did not live in Canaan, so that Israel would make a covenant with them. And so they tricked them into making a covenant by pretending like they went on some long journey to get to them. So give me the name of this nation or this group of people. And this is found in the book of Joshua. All right, thanks for watching.